What's going on, guys?
I saw this recently.
We're live, I think. This is like
yeah,
I think so. This is like week number 8 in a row of horrible, destructive, and game-breaking problems with the audio. So it's gonna be another work in progress.
Production team.
Dude, every single week so far for like the last 2 months, I've had to do audio a different way to try to fix the camera lag issue. But I think I got it. I did something, so it might work. We'll see. We'll see. Let me know if chat can let me know if any audio is like one way or to other, if anybody's louder than anybody else. I'm gonna do the best I can to like keep it running as we go to try to keep people in and around the same volume. But it is a new week. It is a new Thursday. That means we are coming to you live from the internet. And we're gonna talk about shooters today. We were talking about stuff. We have like little things to say about different games and stuff, but all of it was like just encompassed around extraction shooters. So
that's the new thing now, man.
I don't even know if it's new anymore, but it's definitely the thing.
Not new.
So we'll be talking about all that crap throughout the thing. So we just thought we'd clump it together, and it's kind of going to be like a little bit more laid back of an episode. We don't have like super hard and fast. Whoa. We don't have like super. Oh, sorry. We don't have like super. We don't have like.
I mean, dinner first. Oh my god.
I know, man. We don't have like super locked in topics, so we'll just we'll have to see how it goes. But we'll talk about all that stuff. But I am one of your co-hosts, Crash, joined by the other two co-hosts, BlueTheRobot and Buffnerd Gaming.
Howdy.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Up?
Man, it's going. I think.
It's going.
Yeah. I mean, my heart's still beating, so I'm gonna be.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got your new heart and everything.
I'm gonna say that's a dub.
No,
so it's definitely
not
going,
robotic
right?
yet. Not a cyborg heart yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
I like how you said yet. I am getting old at a rapid pace, and probably
you're gonna live to like 250 years old with that new bionic heart once they finally install it.
I don't want to live that long. I think by the time I'm like 70 or so, I'm gonna be ready to check out. I'm gonna be ready to call it.
And I'm done.
Yeah, I had a good run. I had a good run. That's gonna be like. But yeah, what have you guys been up to? Blue, how's the week shaping up so far? What have you been doing?
Pretty chill. I got sick out of nowhere for like a day. So I'm like still a little nasally, but like I woke up, what was it? I think like Tuesday morning, just like scratchy throat. I was like, oh God. I thought it was just because I slept bad. And then I went to sleep and I woke up with like 100-degree fever at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then fought it, and now I'm good. Now I'm good. So it was just like the weirdest, quickest cold ever. I don't know, but whatever. It's gone now, and now I'm just out doing things again. I don't know. I guess I've just been doing outdoor stuff lately. Been hanging out with the family. Been watching a lot of Andor, trying to finish up on that.
I gotta catch up.
Yeah, the wife. Yeah, the wife and I basically watched all the way up to before the last 3 episodes, which are out now, and then I'm watching it. I watched it from season 1 to episode 9 of season 2 now, about to be all over again with her, because she was like, oh, we'll watch it again, let's try it out. And now she's like completely hooked on it. Awesome, because like she's not as big as, I mean, clearly I'm wearing a Death Star 2 patch on my hat, but she's not as big a Star Wars fan as I am, so the fact that she's like into it, I was like, that's pretty cool. So it's a very adult Star Wars show for sure.
I was gonna say I haven't even started season 2 yet, but season 1 I thought was the best Star Wars show hands down that they've put.
It gets better, dude. It gets better. That's all I gotta say.
That's what I heard. I heard season 2 was,
oh my
was really
gosh.
Good.
It's like apparently it's like the best Disney show right now. Disney
Yeah.
Plus series, like out of
Yeah.
everything, which is kind of crazy to hear. So yeah, and then we did that, and then I reinstalled Stalker Gamma as well. So I loaded up some different mods. I'm gonna start new runs on that and kind of get back into the Stalker. What's the word? Bubble, I guess.
Wasn't there
It makes me realize how good it is. Like it just like compared to Stalker 2 that's come out, like it's still such a good mod overall.
wasn't there a Stalker 2 update recently?
Yeah, there was. I thought about talking about that. For me, it was like kind of small. Not, it was like a patch.
Oh, I found it.
There was like shooting stars in the patch now, and like just like of course a bunch of like. I mean, it's not small in terms of like the amount. There's like 700 fixes on there. Um, I just wonder if they improved a life. I know they included like better combat of the AI specifically. So they I know they can like flank it. I know the grenades probably maybe won't be as crazy, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. A lot of it's really just a lot of fixes and improvements, things that probably should have been out when the game first initially released, anyways. So that it's kind of what I've been waiting for, anyways. It's kind of like what a lot of like Stalker fans have been waiting for. This next patch is just like give it a year, see where it's at, and it's shaping up to be really good. I will say optimization still needs a lot of work with UE5 and the lighting on the game. It's a beautiful game, but it could run so much better if they could just get that improved. But it, it's all good. It's all good improvements. And then as well, I believe the Stalker trilogy, like the OG Stalker games, are being they're getting a free, let's see, PC, Xbox, PlayStation will receive a free upgrade to Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy on May 20th. So new shaders, new lighting, new textures, gamepad support, Steam Deck and Steam Workshop as well too. Um which is crazy to see. So yeah.
Yeah, it said they did
It's gonna be the enhanced edition. Yeah.
yeah, the patch notes are just like combat upgrades and smarter enemy tactics. So that's the A life you're talking about. And then
Yeah. Well, A Life, I think what it encompasses is more of like a life or like a living ecosystem within the AI as well too. Like the AI would basically have their own jobs, their own stories, their own goals to do while you're doing your own thing at the same time. So not basically a single playthrough cannot be the same almost. So we'll see if that ever gets to be in the game.
is it bad if the AI is doing better at life than me?
I mean, it's like it's comparing yourself to artificial intelligence, right?
I mean, we're both intelligent, right?
I keep getting emails for that too. I don't know if you guys ever gotten those emails of like, hey, we'd like to sponsor like a video, and one of them was like from Tencent, Hue Huan 3D, and it's like a 3D AI generator image or something like that. And I was like, this doesn't seem legit, and I can't tell if it is or not.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, from Tencent,
The actual Tencent for sure.
probably not. It's it's most likely. They're like, oh, but you got to click on this link and sign up for a platform only. Nah, I'm good.
It could be ABI.
It could,
Tencent.
it could be. It could be. And
Buff,
then, but yeah, just Stalker and life.
yeah, it's been weird. I feel like the Stalker thing, Stalker 2 was one of those games like you were really excited for, and then it came out.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt of like developing a game during wartime and having to evacuate their offices and twice, and one of them burnt down. So it's like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna give you guys the time to fix your stuff, and then I'll come back to it in a year. But until then, there's plenty of other things to play, anyways. And I'm sure we'll talk about that once you get into the whole extraction action
You like that? You like my
genre.
topic?
I like that. That was good. That was good.
Extraction action.
That's it. Buff, how about you, man? How's the week shaping up? Been up to?
It's been busy. My mom's basement flooded last week, so that's
Oh
been,
yeah,
and
dude.
that was like last Monday, and she's had like a bunch of issues with that basement the past 10 years. But yeah, the main sub pump, like, nice. My cats are having a battle royale, by the way.
Film it.
Yeah, right. Just going crazy. The main sub pump like busted, so
They're going crazy.
yeah, they are. So as soon as I do this, so the water was like spraying out like a fire hydrant, and the whole basement just was like, it wasn't like deep underwater or anything like that, but like, we had like a bunch of storage stuff I had in her basement. And like it was a new carpet, and like the carpet and like any boxes that were on the ground and the walls like soaked up all the water, and on top of it just
Jeez.
being wet. So like we had a company come in and they're drying it and stuff, but and then it had some more issues like over the last week and a half too. So I've been working with like a plumber and replaced the pump and everything yesterday. So
Just nonstop.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, hopefully it's good, and the people that are drying the basement out still have a bunch of fans and dehumidifiers and stuff there. So been dealing with that. Got up to camp for the first time last weekend, so that was good. Was up there watching sports and just like playing Sandstorm up there on the PlayStation. So I've been getting way back on the Sandstorm and still playing Warzone a bit, but like Sandstorm's kind of been my main no stress game recently. It's nice I like grinding Warzone, but I also really like,
Even though Sandstorm could be like a PTSD simulator with like
yeah, I mean
the
it
way
is,
people
but
die in that game.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, but I like to play hardcore checkpoint, so it's the PvE mode. So it's like
Yeah.
you're not like, it's not a game where you need to sweat. Like, yeah, you might get one
Mhm.
shot a bunch by the crazy AI, but it's still, it's like, it's just like it's a good relaxing way to game. So I've been doing a lot of that. I actually haven't even played any ABI yet in season 2. I've had really, unfortunately, no desire. I don't know if I just got burnt out in
Man,
the preseason that we had access to, but I just like, Justin was asking me to get on and stuff, and I was like, dude, I have no desire to play that game
kind
right
of
now.
same, man. Yeah, I
I
think.
think just
I
no
wonder.
guns, and just need more stuff. I feel like, even though I
Yeah,
was excited, but
I
now I
was
just
too.
like, I don't know.
Do you think it was Owen? Like he kind of, put a little bit of a
Nah,
extinguish on our fire. I feel like just talking about like the problems and stuff with it, but
no, because like those are all things that I was aware of. I feel like, I just think the new map's great. New guns, you got like the 2 new ARs are awesome. The marksman rifle, the SVT-40, I couldn't care less about, and I would never ever use, nor would I use any of the pistols ever. So it's just like, I think I'm looking at it from, I need a break from it because I was playing it like a lunatic. I definitely burnt myself out. But you look at the mobile version, and they have so many more weapons and maps. So I think I'm gonna just leave it alone for a little bit till I get the itch. But I'm really hoping, like we talked about, hopefully they have more consistent every 2 to 3 months. We get like a season update with more guns, because just looking at everything mobile has and we don't have, I think just giving us 2 primary ARs for season 2 after 8 months wait is just pretty ridiculous. So
yeah, I think my main thing is like the monetization just did not get changed enough for me.
did it not?
No, I could just.
Because I haven't looked at it, so I'm not
I
really
mean,
sure.
there's only like one or I think there's only like one thing that's in a loot box, but the rest of the stuff you can buy outright. Um, but it's just, um, I don't know. You can just tell like things are balanced. So I said this a week or two ago. It's just like things are balanced to get your credit card out. Like they put, it's no secret that they put in a cheap gun that shoots red ammo, and
Mm-hmm.
the red ammo is on the marketplace. And
Yep.
instead of putting like a gun on the marketplace that you might want to buy code and then you run the gun a while, they put a super overpowered consumable item on the market. So you want to swipe your credit card to buy code and to keep buying red ammo because it's so strong. As well as thermals are still there. They're still on the market. They're still just a complete highlighter filter.
Yeah.
And people have complained about this since the inception of the beta of the game, like, and they're leaving it in there so people swipe their credit cards, and they're not
Which I
going on
don't.
Steam so they can keep doing this crap. And they have
Right.
loot also got cranked up. People are finding reds like crazy. My
Yeah.
theory is because they want you to be able to have the money to buy the battle pass, and once people get the battle passes later in the season, they're going to crank the loot way down, so it's going to be harder to get coin, and people are going to want to swipe their credit cards in that way. And it is a free to play game, and they need to make money. I just feel like the balance of the game is suffering, so they can maximize monetization, and that just bums me out.
Yeah, that sounds and
Hmm.
that's what I don't get, because like you fix it and get it going. All the stuff we've talked about here previously, then you release on Steam, like more people are gonna buy the battle pass and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just like so far away from being at a place where they can release on Steam that they're just like, we need to support the game now, which I get, free to play, I get it. Need to make money. But I don't know. Yeah,
I know you guys talked about it earlier. Just like, isn't it like still like, does buying all the coin, does that matter if you could still just outplay the enemy as well too?
I didn't think it did, but like if you the PvP is kind of addicting in the game, and if you like to go in and push that and play some of the highest tier maps, like you can lose a lot of money. And then there is a world in where you have to make a decision. It's like, do I want to go back to the lesser maps? Do I want to run a scav and kind of get back on my money, or do I just want to pull out my credit card? And I just have like known of a few people now that have like done that, and it just bums me out. Like there's people that are like actively doing that, and it's fine. Like that's the way it is. I mean, it's not like they're cheating or anything. It's just like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
because I know there's like certain like games like that include monetization in that way, where you get up to a certain point, and the only way to continue, really, like they kind of force your hand to buy it. So I don't see
like
that's
that.
the issue. Yeah,
no, it's still very much playable for free. Like you can still get it and have fun for sure. But there's just like a couple things that just like kind of rub me the wrong way, and that's mainly thermals and red ammo, like that people have complained about the whole time. And
yeah,
like you can just buy that on the market.
It lessens the impact of like either finding it on somebody, because they could probably just go and grab some more anyways, or
it just lowers the integrity just a little bit, because like you can go, I mean, and sometimes you can die to somebody, and what's really cool about the game is like you can look at stats. So you can look at somebody's stats, so you can see their wealth and their looting rating is like super low, but they have like 50 million of liquid cash, and you're like,
spent like a couple $100
that's clearly a sign.
It's like you dropped a couple $100 and like you just killed me with red ammo, like.
Which is like, especially, I know Owen talked about it too. Like he hates running thermals, but if you're playing the tournaments, which they were, I don't know if they're still doing it, but on the weekends they were doing like different kill race or whatever tournaments on the weekends on specific maps. And he even said, he's like, you can't, if you're going to participate in those, you have to run a thermal because everyone's running it. And I know there was one pretty big streamer who streams that game. It wasn't Owen. And they were doing a tournament on the Valley map, whatever it's called. Is it called Valley in ABI? I can't remember. It is, isn't it? Valley? Yeah, it is. Valley. Yep. So and we didn't know there was a tournament. and so we ran into these thermal dudes, and I happened to kill one of them, the main streamer, and the other two I think got Justin and the other guy I was playing with. But it's like, dude. And then you look at some of these guys' loot boxes, and they just like a bunch of thermals, which you're obviously like buying those, which it is what it is. So yeah, I we've talked about it before. I definitely want to see the thermals nerfed like they did in Tarkov, where it's grainy and like it shouldn't just be, like you said, a highlighter filter.
Yeah, I really wish that. Yeah, it sucks because it's such a has such potential to be a really cool extraction game, just because of its like approachable arcadey nature, but still like grounded, and like the combat mechanics are grounded and the setting is grounded, and it's like kind of everything that I would want, but just the stuff surrounding it just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you know that the devs are purposely balancing the game to make microtransaction money. It just kind of bums me out. And that's when it gives you like, it just makes me have the idea of like kind of like wanting to get back into Gray Zone quite a bit. And I have been is like you buy the game and you own it. And the cosmetics are going to be earnable in Twitch drops that are coming up. The cosmetics are also going to be purchasable outright, and the money goes to charity. And like, and
that's a game that I would rather be supporting right now, given the amount.
I think so too,
and I'm really excited for this next update that I know we'll talk about. But I was thinking the same thing. That's why I've been playing so much Sandstorm and a little bit of Warzone in there, because like I just don't want to play ABI, and it's just like, okay, I don't want to play ABI. I don't want to quit my job and become a full-time Tarkov player in order to just like get to level 10. And like, Gray Zone's gonna be refreshing because you have the PvP option, you have the PvPvE option, and you just have the PvE option. I think this update looks good, which I know we'll get into it. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped for that. That'll be really refreshing. And I think throughout this summer and into later this year, we've got some good stuff coming up too. So in between then and now, hopefully ABI gets one or two more updates out, more guns. I think they need to do something where they're bringing in like 12 guns in an update in order to get us closer to what mobile has weapon wise and then map wise. I know it's not just an easy 1-for-1, but I mean, it's not that difficult to bring in gun assets that you already have, especially if another competitor has accused you of stealing from their game. So
I
want to see more, and I want to see it faster.
Sure. Both of those games just have like a bad like aura around them, like what stuff like Tarkov's
but they're
done
so good. They're so good,
Yeah.
but it's just there's something.
And at the end of the day, man, like if they were still good, and I mean, I knew ABI was how it was, and I played the crap out of it last season. Like at the end of the day, if the game's good, I'll play it. But it just starts to be where the balance is so chalked, and they refuse to fix it for financial reasons that it just makes it makes the game itself not fun. And that's like the biggest.
This is crazy how much so where ABI does it where you can pay, in while you're playing, and then you have Tarkov where it's like if you don't drop the 250, unheard edition, you could be losing out on different play styles and different elements of the game that someone who did drop it will already have like a bigger stash size, whereas someone who has like the basic edition has to work just a little bit harder, to get it, where someone just bought it right then and there. And it's like,
that is true.
I don't like any of those. Just have a single, premium payment, and then you get access to the whole game like everyone else does.
And to be fair though, Gray Zone is similar, right? Like you get more starting gear and a bigger secure container.
Yeah, that's I'm just not a fan of that in general. So it doesn't matter who does it. I'm just not.
It's
again,
not my
we come
favorite
from
either.
like we come from like old school games.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not my favorite either. The difference there is like what Tarkov did the thing where like the Edge of Darkness edition is the best edition. You'll have stuff forever if you buy that. So everybody dropped 250 bucks. Like, oh wait, never mind. There's the unheard edition. It's just a little bit better with some more stuff. Like that's the part that torqued me off about that one. Like
and that's another thing. Blue brings up a really good point. With the live service games we have now, I think Fortnite and COD are the biggest offenders. At the end of the day, it's all business. You're trying to make money, so I understand. But from the Blue made a really good point. We're like more old school gamers. Before there was that live service, you would pay the premium, and you'd get guaranteed X amount of seasons, which was consistent content, guaranteed.
Yeah, so for the game's entire life cycle too.
Right. And I understand the season pass. And the issue with the premium was like, okay, people that didn't have it, it split up the player base. So I completely do support the season pass and the free to play stuff, but I think there's potentially a better way to do it depending on what game, what kind of game you are and what the goals of the game are. Because
I just think it doesn't really work for extraction games in general, though.
even I mean, yeah, and even Battlefield 2042, I think, is a prime example. You look at what Battlefield 3 and 4 had with premium, and then live service for 5 and 2042 was like a nightmare content wise. So there's a right way to do it, but it's as
I'm
far
sure
as
there will
how
be
can
a
we do it
game that
quicker?
does it right in the future where they have the content to back up the price point of a season pass and you know, of continuous monetization practices. I don't think we've seen it, at least within this genre. I think if you go play Fortnite right now, people that are playing that season pass and all for the cosmetics, they might be loving it. But as for an extraction game, I haven't seen it yet.
I think you need more weapons too. Like for ABI, for example, what was it? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons, and 3 of them were pistols for this last update.
Yeah,
I
It's a
don't
pretty
think.
lackluster season update too, right? I know
Yeah,
you guys were
yeah,
complaining about
it
that.
really is. You
the
need
thing,
to
And once
have
and now you
guaranteed
have this gap between
like
this one
10,
and whenever the next one is.
which it was 7 or 8 months. The last season was November, so yeah, it was 7 months. So yeah, I
For a
think
studio that big, that's a pretty long time.
especially owned by Tencent, you gotta.
Yeah.
It has to be consistency. I feel like for sure.
I do want to say though, D reminded me in chat that what is an interesting game mode is the elimination mode, even the TDM mode, like the 4v4 mode.
Oh yeah,
It takes all that stuff out of there. It completely removes the
does.
pay to win and stuff because everybody has to
That's
pick from
cool.
the same stuff. So
that
we
is a
played,
really fun mode.
yeah, we
Both
played
those.
the elimination mode, which is just 4v4 no 4v4 no respawn round based,
Yeah.
and then there's a circle that closes. And
Oh,
I had
that's
a
cool.
we
Okay.
the last weeknight I played it, we won 8 in a row. We were just cleaning up, and it's kind of nice. Everybody's got class 4 armor and everybody's got purple ammo, and you just pick, like, everybody's on the same, can pick from the same loadout. So it's just about
They just pick
skill.
different, more it's just a different gun and recoil pattern and stuff like that you want to look at. But
Yeah, so the different guns have like different fire rates and recoils, and the ammo has a little bit different damage and pin and stuff like that. But it's all like a fairly level playing field, and it doesn't matter how many times you swipe your credit card, you still have to pick from those. So I don't know. That leveled the playing field really well.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, I could see myself playing, because that's another thing too. I just don't have the time as much as I would like to do it, especially with everything I'm doing in the background. Like, so like more casual, like hardcore shooter experience is what I'm looking at, and that is exactly up
Yeah,
my
and it's really nice for that
playing
too. Like
field.
if you're on a crunch for time, because I often think about that. Like if I'm streaming during the week, I have like 2 hours to stream in the evening. So like I need to get it and like get to playing and going. Like the one first time chatter told me that one time, play the game, dumbass, which was one of the greatest chats of all time. So I try to get started going, and that's one of the downsides of Gray Zone. Like I have to figure out who's playing, I have to start the squad, then we have to sit around and decide we PvE, we PvP, where are we gonna go? Then you have to see what missions you have. Everybody's got to gear up. The thing about the 4v4 mode, that's just like you just hop in and go, and then after a match you just queue for another one. You don't have to build a gear, like if somebody dies in one, you got to wait for him to re-kit and stuff to go into the next raid. Not with the arena modes. You just rock it.
Well, hopefully this update for Grayzone kind of not fixes, but helps that situation with the whole cop, situation.
Yeah,
because now it's you're closer to the fight in case you go down. You can, like you said, stay in the area for longer. You don't have to go all the way back to your main base. Dude, especially once they start introducing like base takeovers and stuff like that. Now you'll have like another area to fight from to take back your base or so on and so forth. So
man, I'm stupidly excited for the Gray Zone update.
I haven't even, I'll be honest, I really haven't been following it too much either. So I'm going to just come into it pretty blind. And I know it comes out Saturday.
This is the update that's turning me around.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I don't even know if I'll be able to play it Saturday. Maybe if not Sunday, but yeah, I've seen some things, and we'll go over it. But yeah, this looks like a huge update. This is probably the one we've been waiting for.
I did a video today that I got out this afternoon talking about just that. Like, the game's not ever going to be the same after this, and I think it's completely switching gears on the game, because you guys remember when it first started. they made sure, like Mara made sure to call it a PvEVP. Like they wanted it to be like mainly PvE, and then every once in a while you run into other operators. And they also added VoIP and stuff. They said maybe you can, you know, VoIP and talk and work with people because you guys are doing the same thing on the. It's like,
well, and
that's not how people play.
But that's not how they play. But like in his head lore, that's how like the PMCs would act,
right?
You know, in that area. So you could, hey, I love role play stuff like that. I would love to get into that situation where I'm like talking it out. I'm sure we're gonna fight at the end of it, but it makes for great content if you're just like bantering with the enemy, just
I think this,
hey man, you know,
this
like,
is going to be a content gold mine.
Put your
man,
weapon down. No, you put your weapon down. You put it down first.
No, we did that. So the other night we had like a 2-hour long drawn out fight. People just coming in on choppers, dying. Everybody coming back at Fort Nerith. There was probably 12 people there, like, or just a ton of people. And some guy dropped in with a knife, and I actually got him hostage. Like, I was on the VoIP, like, sir, put the knife down, turn around, put your hands above your head, and like got him to do that. And then a bunch of other guys came over.
Oh, the emotes.
And they made him stand up against the wall, and they like read him his rights, and then they executed him in a firing line.
Oh my god!
Like it was just so funny, man. Like he was like talking shit too, like right before they all killed him and stuff, and then he just went silent. Like, it was so funny, man. But we had a knife guy that we took hostage and stuff, and did a firing line, and and then he was all like, he's like, go into Fort Nerith, my boys are waiting for me, and he's like, you guys are a bunch of sissies, why don't you go over there? And I was like, wait, your boys aren't coming to try to save you? They're just holed up in the fort. Like, who's the sissy? Like, who's being the wieners? Like, they're not coming to save their boy.
That's true.
Dang, man. That's sad. They don't even care about, like, it was just so funny. And then he got dispatched. But we've had some crazy battles, but it's taken a while to find them. Like I said, so you start out the evening like, okay, let's just like maybe go do a quest in a hot zone and listen for choppers or see if we can find somebody. So we'll pick a random quest and go to like one of the hotter spots on the map, and then hopefully you find something. There'll be nights where there'll be sometimes you don't find anybody. It's like, damn. But with this new update, it's going to be like, you're going to be able to find some of these this crazy PvP whenever you want to, because there's going to be circles on the map that are highlighting it. There's going to be the enemy cops will be highlighted red if they have them, so you'll know there's going to be enemies there. There's going to be dynamic quests that pop up on the maps. You know, people are going to be gunning for those. Just like so many different ways you're going to be able to find the PvP. The rain looks really cool. That's going to add a lot to the immersion and how it works and plays out, and just making this island like more alive.
For me, it's just optimization. That's all I need fixed a little bit, where it's one, it's playable, and two, it's a lot more easier to record, especially on one PC setup for a creator. So
yeah, I think that it's it's a big shift in the game, and it's a big shift in the studio, because they wanted it to be a PvEVP, and it's going to completely make this a PvPvE. And I think that's good, because it's leaning into, I don't know if they designed it like this off the bat, but it is some crazy gunplay, because you don't have a raid timer, you don't have a circle push it in, you can literally play it however you want to. You can do whatever you want, and that's what makes the gunfights and like the battles and stuff like so crazy. So, but
I still think it's gonna be a PvEVP game in the future. I think this is just setting up the foundation to accommodate more PvP easier than what it is, before this update.
Yeah, but I'm just excited to be able to. But I mean, it works both ways too, right? Like, you can get into the server and be like, oh, there's a bunch of PvP over there, I'm not feeling like fighting it, or I don't have a ton of money. You can avoid it. So like, it works both ways. But
yeah, you'll know where the PvP is happening now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just really excited, because the PvP is awesome. It's just hard to find, and this is going to completely flip that around. And then I'm sure they are, but I'm hoping that Madfinger is going to be quick on the dials to balance stuff. I think we're gonna find.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna find inconsistencies and issues with game balance, with the ballistics and stuff like that, because and metas are gonna start to evolve because it's gonna be consistent PvP. There's just gonna be more engagements and more constant interactions, and I think some more like issues could pop up and stuff like that. So, hopefully they'll be ready for that. The one thing I wish they would change off the bat with the cops, I said this in my video, is currently they will show you gray if they're neutral, red if they're an enemy, and blue if they're your faction. They're highlighted on your tablet. So when
Yeah.
you take one, it's going to be red to the other two factions, and that's just going to be like ringing the dinner bell.
Just a beacon.
I think I want it to be to where it's either blue or gray. It's either your faction has it or it's unknown.
Yeah.
So like
you don't know.
If you go to take it, it could be neutral or it could be taken by somebody else.
Yeah.
But
I know we talked about it where it's like if you're in a certain radius, it could turn red because you have visual confirmation that there's enemy there, and then the second everyone dies on your team, then it goes back to being gray. So you don't know if it's like if it was what happened there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean, I know like what Sniper's saying in chat, you can find PvP, but I'm just saying if I have 2 hours to play in the evening and it takes me an hour to find it, and then it's like a long drawn out fight that sometimes it can last for over an hour, and then it's like I have to leave like before we even finish the fight. Like,
sorry guys, dinner's ready.
It's just gonna be a lot more efficient.
Mom's calling. Give me a second. I gotta go,
like,
boys.
No, this old man has to get up at 6 a.m. to go to work. He's taking his ass to bed. That's what happens. But it's just gonna be nice.
Hold on, my kids are crying. Give me a second, guys.
Yeah. it's gonna be really nice to find that stuff. But I think that's gonna also add to the replayability too. Because like making it more of a PvP game, like every gunfight and every opportunity and how things shake out, it's gonna be different.
I'm just curious if they ever start like imagining that, and then like they start going more into like the roadside picnic stuff and start adding like weird, crazy anomalies into the mix. Like now you got to worry about like or wildlife in the future. Maybe I don't know if they ever mentioned something about that.
Yeah. When you have like 1.0 and the roadside picnic stuff, all the weird anomalies and stuff in the middle, plus this crazy PvP, and then everything in between. So like the stealth mechanics, I think the crafting is going to be really cool because that's going to add like a lot to your loot. Like if there's high tier ammo that you can craft, and you find that stuff out and about on the map,
or upgrades or something like that, maybe in the future.
I think the crafting is gonna add a ton, and then like they keep doing
just
that
imagine
stuff.
like you're fighting in the jungles of fake Vietnam, because that's not really Vietnam, or Laos,
fake Laos,
fake Laos, and all of a sudden one of your teammates just gets like swooped into a vortex and it ripped apart right next to it.
by the Predator, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out.
If I start hearing the clicks
pretty upset
of Predator in the background, like in the jungles, or it's like, wait a minute, is that green glowing blood right there? What is that?
That reminds, like they put him in they put the Predator in Wildlands, I think it was, right? At one point
they did, yeah. Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah,
dude, that gun, in this gameplay I killed a guy up by Midnight Sapphire, and I took his M4, and it had like a short barrel, and I thought it was cool, but it was like all worn out, plus the short barrel, it had like over 5 MOA. So like bullets were just like
all over the place,
all over the place.
And then I got killed, and the guy took it, and then I went back and got just a trash like M4 and came back and killed him again, and then I took it back, and like so I still have this M4 in my gray zone stash. That's just a piece of crap.
Probably just not good for anything except for very close quarters.
It
looks like a Mark 18, dude. So I wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's junk.
Stretching it.
It's junk, but it is nice. You just it's kind of freeing, It's like if I die, like I get the last laugh because you're gonna pick up this piece of crap. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I'm really interested to see what player numbers do. I did say this in my video. I'm interested about player numbers. I'm not obsessed with it. As long as there's 48 players to fill up a server, like what do I care? But it's gonna be interesting to see how many people come back and try this and how many people stick around.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty decent number coming back. It's more for me, it's how many people stay.
Yeah. But I think if you know it's like it's a given that you can lock in and get into some of these gunfights like right away. I think people are gonna stick around because it's gonna be pretty fun. And then you always have it just I don't know, man. I just feel like it's got like kind of something it's got something for everyone too. Like if you kind of get down bad on money and stuff and gear, like you can go switch to PvE and level the same character and not have to worry about dying so much, and you can grind out some quests and just have a chill evening. And
I think the thing I'm worried about too is the amount of different extraction games that are either might be coming out in June, because I know we got the rumors of possible release date for Arc Raiders, and then we also have the update for this coming out. We also have the update for Red River coming out. We have Arc Raiders is going to take a big chunk, I think, of a lot of players from the extraction title specifically. So I'm very curious on what the player base will be if that's the case. It's not confirmed yet. You know, they haven't posted anything.
So there's been like weird, like different. I've seen on Twitter like changes are happening in the Arc Raiders Discord server. Like they've removed the tech test. They added like some reaction and roles for like server updates and game updates and stuff like that. So
then there was that one reporter that like I guess accidentally said June, but had to like retract his statement. You know?
I didn't see that.
So yeah, I saw it. I had to bring it up somewhere. I think it was on Twitter.
A couple of my IRL friends are really excited for Arc Raiders. I played it a little bit. It's really good.
It looked really good. Unfortunately, it's just not my kind of game. So
I love the environment and whatnot, but we'll have to see.
It's pretty cool. What else is going on extraction wise? But yeah, this has been like Gray Zone has just been on my mind.
I think
lately.
Gray Zone is like the biggest one that we're kind of just waiting for to see what this update comes out for specifically. I know I'm personally, because I'm just behind the scenes a lot for Incursion Red River, because it's coming out around the same time. So it also, we don't, as a thing too, I don't know when exactly Gray Zone Warfare's update comes out for public play. I'm sure it'll be relatively close after the 21st, right? Is when the last day for the creator playtests. The 17th,
yeah, so the
17th
to the 21st, and then hopefully
so
after.
I'm thinking like right after,
Yeah,
so
if it plays,
it could be like the beginning of June, maybe.
Is it going to be a wipe? Do we know?
Yeah.
They mentioned
that makes
it.
me not even want to. Then it makes me not even want to play it. Then,
well, the thing about playing the creator test, which is nice, is everything's unlocked, so you can play with all the gear. You don't have to grind.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So you'll be able to check everything out, and then it'll launch, and everybody will be starting over from square one. But at least it's not like there's been some play tests where it's like you have to grind and level and play to check out all the content, and then it gets wiped. But at least you don't have to do it twice. You don't have to grind it twice. It's all unlocked.
That's what I've always hated about play tests, because it's like, why would you want us to play test the game when you give us nothing and you want us to test everything out? It's like, we don't have the time to do that.
That's kind of how it was in Arc Raiders. The progression is not crazy like that, but I played it. I played a couple raids and I just felt like I got a feel for it. Like, this is cool, but I just don't feel like put a ton of time into it for like a day or two. So, but Gray Zone there for the creator test, like we'll be able to check everything out, which would be sweet. And then it'll wipe for everybody, and we'll have to unlock that stuff. But I'd like to make some like gameplay content and some raids and stuff, and then maybe make a video for like each of the new guns. Like kind of like my favorite setup with the MP7 and the MCX and the SVD. Heck, I might even run the Colt Commander, my little 45 ACP, you know?
There you go.
I'll do it. I don't care. Not too proud.
Don't care.
Fine me. The other thing, I was trying to think of what else is going on extraction shooters. Oh, this is bad. So we talked, this is real bad. We talked last week about, this is, hold on, while we're on this subject
at the end,
I want to say this real quick while we're on the subject. I had that Arc Raiders tweet pulled up. So their new reactions appeared for the welcome channel of the official Arc Raiders Discord server. Again, they removed all the tech test channels, and then they added like a you can sign up for game updates and server updates and like a whole new launching page. And then they said they tweeted, Arc News tweeted that they removed it, but like stuff's happening and changing in the Discord, so like they're getting ready for that. And then some of the things we talked about, like Arc Raiders versus Marathon, it keeps getting worse and worse for Bungie, man. There's an artist in Squared or in 2.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see this, man? So the Marathon Alpha released recently, and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. So like they took poster designs from this guy. So like right here, this is the poster that he made. It says a left dark space haulage logistics. It's in the game. Like this poster he made. They stole it, dude. Like
That's not good.
and yeah, same here. So with this logo right here, literally his his logo as a brand. So like his Into logo is in the game on a poster, and then here are the logos on a poster from 2017 that are in game. Here's another logo that's in the game, and then here is another one of the arrows, the triangles, that's in the game. So these are the posters that he did, and then there's all the spots in game where they robbed it. It's like Bungie is taking. So how many followers does this guy have? This guy's got 12,000 followers, and they're ripping his content, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, was like he wasn't
Not
like
good.
prior affiliated with Bungie at all. This is just
No,
him on his
in the
own.
tweet he said
that's what I wondered.
he said Bungie of course is not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I have refined for the last decade, but clearly my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over their game without pay or attribution.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of BS.
Yeah. He says, I don't have the resources or energy to spare to pursue this legally, but I've lost count of the number of times a major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or steal my work than to write me an email. In 10 years, I've never made a consistent income from this work, and I'm tired of designers from huge companies mood boarding and parasitizing my designs while I struggle to make a living. So yeah, this dude just got chalked. And then he said,
I can't imagine, like, I get it where it's, sorry, continue. Sorry.
I was going to say, one of the things I also thought was interesting, Joseph Cross from Bungie follows this guy. And he's like, is there any insight? And he said, he's followed me for a few years, and a few others from Bungie never had any communication. So they followed the artist that they were ripping from, but like just never talked to him.
Like, I get using something for inspiration, you know, and then going and making your own out of it, but like literally just like copy and paste, and that's pretty much what they did. Exactly. Like,
yeah, I mean,
line by line, detail by detail.
I mean, I guess there is a world where Bungie used the AI to make it, and that AI took from like his posters were in the data set from the AI, but it's just too. I don't even think that's possible because it's too exact.
No, that's too specific. It's too specific. Yeah.
Like this one right here has the literal words of Aleph, like ALEPH. Dark
the AI could have gone out and found that stuff online.
But in my experience with AI, especially with text, it never copies it one for one, especially with text.
It never
like
does.
similar.
Especially if it's like almost made up text or made up, you know, where it's like a futuristic font.
That's literally the exact same font too. Like that AI would not do that.
No,
it's just crazy that they saw it and they're like, let's one for one pull this in and copy.
Yeah, well, for something as big as a company as Bungie, man. You know
what this more than likely is the upper management and stuff of Bungie didn't know this. They just paid an artist and like maybe doing like artwork for like little posters around the map. They paid some intern, and an intern or a lower level artist ripped it off, and they like the designers and directors and stuff probably didn't know that they did that, is what I would guess. That it's probably like an individual that ripped that stuff. I don't think they would make like a cognizant decision to be like, yeah, let's steal this stuff.
Well, I think the cognizant decision is them not going over those designs. Again, it's hard to see from a bigger company perspective after just seeing a lot of indie stuff, but you know, because indie, it's easy to kind of just like look over someone's work and like, hey, where's that from? Did you make that? Is that an asset? So on and so forth. Where if it's like a big company, there's multiple levels, like you said, that maybe it was a smaller intern that just passed it off along his boss. His boss didn't check. Of course, the person above him is not going to check. So, again, it's not, and Rockhound is right. Like there is oversight. There are other teams that go over to make sure they don't run into these issues. So the fact that they didn't do their due diligence for a company this big, just it makes me even believe it more now. Where like Marathon was announced a while ago, but it feels like this was their like attempt at just like getting onto the hype train of extraction shooters, and it was more just maybe it could have just been like a time crunch
Yeah.
and just to hurry up
No,
and get it there.
it definitely fell through the cracks somewhere, because you'd think if it was a lower level artist, they would have a supervisor that's checking their work,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so, yeah.
Whoever did it, their person above them didn't do their didn't take the responsibility needed for it. So
Yeah, I get that.
yeah.
And
But
then
yeah, and that's what D said. It's like, okay, now that they should know, because there's plenty of talk online. What are they gonna do about it now?
yeah, well, if Activision is any kind of indicator, what they did when they sold that stuff, probably nothing. So the other thing that's interesting is, like, we compared our creators to Bungie quite a bit, but there's also another parallel, and that's the fact that like throughout the development cycle, they had like big changes. We remember that we reported like the lead dev of like Marathon left, and they switched it to another person, and then that's when they switched it to a hero
Yeah.
shooter. We're like, that's never good. And then our creators also was going to be PvE only. They delayed it and said they're adding PvP, and people were like, ugh. But it looks like it worked out okay for our creators, but Marathon's like in stream development changes didn't work. Like, you were seeing some of the effects of those with like the lackluster game release and stealing artwork. Doesn't feel good, man.
Yeah, I think Embark has a lot more to prove than Bungie, though, as well too as a studio, because they got more.
Yeah,
I would say
definitely.
more. I want to say more passion, because I don't know what the developers and artists feel at Bungie.
Yeah, you got a
But
passion meter over there.
just doop, boop, 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 like a Geiger counter, but for passion.
Passion. Mm.
Passion.
You have to say it like
But
that.
I don't know. Well, because like, look, they've been what was it? They what all they've had was what, Destiny lately. That's all
Yeah,
they've really had.
Destiny
So
2.
hey, Destiny 2. Oh well, it's like someone's. I saw a funny. I saw a comment of like the Destiny 2 Renegades update, like the Star Wars one. And the guy was so excited that there's a lightsaber coming to the game. They're like, let this game die. All the comments were like, just let this game die. Please. Just end it. Just end it. Move on to something else.
Yeah, man, it is crazy to think that that our creators ran well on consoles too. That game is gonna go nuts, man.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah,
I hope.
There's so many more good things to say about our creators than there is Marathon.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But we kind of made that comparison like last week, or I think last
We
week.
destroyed them a little bit too much. I think we can hold off on that a little bit.
We weren't very nice, but that's fine. That's content. Yeah, it was wild, but
Yeah, it's been 8 years since Destiny 2's release.
not bad, not bad. Rainbow Six Siege going on year 10.
That's true.
But
That's true.
yes,
That game needs to die.
they
Just
did.
kidding.
I didn't get to watch it very much. They did do a new like an esports event on the new Siege, the Siege X, and then on the 18th they're gonna reveal the first season of Siege X with the operator changes and stuff. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I just hope when Arc Raiders is super massive and Rockhound's channel takes off to the moon, he remembers us. Like maybe we can still get him on.
Us little people.
We remember the little people. We still get him on the program for some Embark updates when he's all big time. That'd be pretty nice. Not gonna lie to you.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. And then I guess to wrap up, who did this new phone? Yeah, right. I guess to wrap up this extraction action extravaganza, extraction extravaganza. Check. All right.
There's a word in there somewhere. You got it.
Yeah, send it to the Scope Podcast at Gmail. How do I find this Hunger game? We wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Let's go play the Hunger Games next.
Not the yeah. Wait, would that not be like the perfect BR? Like an actual
Dude,
Hunger Games based on the movie?
That's what it was based on. The whole battle royale genre was based off of those movies, dude. That's where it started. You know, they were like, I remember like when Minecraft did the Hunger Games, you know, and then it was like it just took off into different battle royale titles. So yeah, we don't need that. Yeah,
what
Hunger though looks crazy.
What is it? I see a trailer.
What is it, dude?
What even is?
It's
what am I looking at?
I haven't even heard of it.
It's pretty insane looking, dude.
I'll pull it up here for the non-audio listeners.
For the non-audio listeners, it is a PvP VE extraction RPG.
All right.
So it's not a shooter. I mean, there are like shooter elements. There are like, it kind of gives me Hunt Showdown vibes of like,
ooh,
you know, like belt-fed revolver, or belt-fed like pistols. They have like flintlocks, you know, muskets and stuff like that. Long range scope weapons and stuff like that. And they have like a character screen where I guess eventually it is an RPG, so you have to like level up your character and stuff like that. So like there's that in it, but it's very also like medieval. It's apparently it takes place during Napoleonic Europe, so during Napoleon and stuff like that. It's, I don't know, man. Like it's definitely gonna be like a more, I don't know about slower pace because it could still get intense. And as for the trailer, there's some pretty crazy looking enemies. But as for like the comparison to Hunt Showdown, I would say because it's comparison to Hunt Showdown because of like the dark nature of the game and like how Hunt Showdown has like the very older weapons. But this is like, again, you have like the Western version, which is Hunt Showdown, very like 1800s, and then this is like 1500s, 1600s era, stuff like that, or whenever Napoleon was in power. So
whatever he did.
Yeah, you know, this is like during the Black Plague, and that it looks like the Black Plague stuff because of all the dead bodies in the trailer and stuff like that. So it also looks amazing.
How is it an RPG, but it's also an extraction? That's wild.
That's what I wonder too. So it's like, is it gonna be like open world type RPG, or is it RPG because it's like your character can level up and there's like skills and attributes you can add on? Like I was looking at one of them, and like the one that they have highlighted, it's called Desperation, and it goes, your crawl becomes from 10% to 20% faster when downed. So if you go down, you get to crawl a little bit faster, you know, and there's like certain mastery points you can upgrade with those points. And then everything, and then, if you look on the top, this is all through Steam, and it's like there's an inventory, there's a journal, there's abilities, there's mastery, experience, and appearance. So there's probably be experience points, ability points, mastery points. So yeah, it's gonna be, you know, it's a lot more in depth in terms of your character, but it's still, at the end of the day, I guess you got to go in, grab loot, and extract. So it still has that into it as well too. But
yeah, this WCC,
and it's first person as well too.
Nice, Arc Raiders. This WCCF Tech article says that it still says it's a PvPvE extraction shooter, but then it says it has RPG progression system, and a quote from the devs is a mix of methodical and frenetic ranged and melee combat as you enter a deadly and brutal dance with both the hunger and other living who seek to take what's yours. Find and equip armor, bags, trinkets, medicines, weapons, shields, and ready yourself for the different environments and battles ahead. So I guess Hunt Showdown kind of has a little bit of progression built in each character, right? Like you have, like,
but if you lose that character, you're gone. Like, you lose all the so I wonder what happens if you go down. Do you lose all your skill and experience? You know, is it like Dark and Darker in terms of gameplay as well too? Because that was another extraction shooter.
I don't know, but it looks crazy. Another Hunt Showdown. Can you believe it?
Also VoIP as well too.
We gotta have VoIP.
That's good.
I wish ABI had VoIP. Man, I could have talked so much shit. Like, because I was actually decent at that game. I'm not as good at Gray Zone right now because I didn't play it for a while. So I gotta use VoIP and my wits to get out of sticky situations. So yeah, I guess that's your weekly extraction shooter roundup for everybody. There you go. You're welcome. I guess if you enjoyed it. If you hated it, then I'm sorry. I was gonna talk about Buff, because I wanted to talk about it too. I haven't played it, so you might have to help me. But I really kind of wanted to talk about Insurgency Sandstorm as a topic, so I had it as the next topic.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Because I'm so interested that they're still cranking on this game is still
yeah
doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just gonna say really quick. I'm sorry. That I think that shows like the added resiliency of like having a console port. Like, because I bet there's a lot of console players.
Yeah, and it's crossplay now too, so
it's pretty sweet.
It's really good, yeah.
So yeah, Operation Overrun is a free update with the new forest map. Have you played on it?
Yeah, really good map. We were on it a couple times last night for the stream for Hardcore Checkpoint. It's a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's cool to see. I kind of wanted them to make a new game because like Insurgency Sandstorm, you know, I mean it's in the name, sand, right? Like everything was a desert, and I wanted to see some more like green and lush environments. That's kind of why I wanted a new game. But like, I mean, they're not tied to that, I guess, because they made this forest map. There's a lot of green in the jungle. It looks cool. Big plain down in the middle.
Yep. Yeah, they did a lot with this update. And as much I'm in the same boat. Like I want like a Sandstorm 2 essentially, but there really isn't a need for that at this point, I don't think. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the game. They just did the Gen 9 update. It runs great. So, you know, eventually I hope they do, but the fact that they just announced that they're going to support year 4 of this game is pretty big. So, especially when it was like a year ago. I don't know when it was. It was probably about a year ago, right? We reported with the news that the studio got shut down. So like,
yeah, we thought it was over.
They never like addressed what happened with that. They're just like, hey, the studio got shut down. We're just gonna keep making content though.
Yeah, that's weird.
So yeah.
So you got a couple new guns too, the M250 LMG.
Yep. That's the NGSW program LMG that's supposed to replace the SAW. So the M250 from Sig Sauer in 6.8 by 51 millimeter, and then you've got the HK21 LMG also. So those are the two.
How do those feel in game?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, those are two machine guns along with some other ones that they've added previously that you don't need to like mount the bipod to use effectively. So they feel really good. I've played quite a bit with both of them, and I do like them a lot.
I know you're an LMG guy. I wonder if Gray Zone will ever get them. Phantom gear sets. Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of good gear sets.
How do microtransactions work in Insurgency? Do you know? Are they?
So you get a bunch of free
cosmetic,
stuff,
right?
Yeah, it's all cosmetic. So you get a bunch of free stuff every update. You get free cosmetics for your operators, free cosmetics for your guns, and then there's the paid set. And a paid set, it's usually like $2 or $3 for a set, and that would be like the whole operator skin bundle. Then you would pay for like a camo bundle. So it's extremely affordable. You know, you can pick and choose exactly what you want, and it all comes in sets. So every season, it's like they have different camo sets that are paid for, different operator gear sets that are paid for. Then they have free versions of it. So just by logging in, you get the free stuff, and you can choose which paid stuff you want. Then again, it's like $3 usually. So super cheap.
It's pretty affordable, and you can buy what you want, right? You don't have to pay for a spin on the wheel.
Yeah, you buy exactly what you want. Yeah, and no matter what, all the updates that have happened, like that stuff's still available for you to see. So if you want it, you can just it'll link you to like the bundle in your console store or wherever it is, and you just pay $3 to $5 for it, and you get everything you want. So that's just really cool. They did a lot. Yeah, you can see they did a bunch of map overhauls.
Yeah, I feel like they do lighting overhauls in like every update. There's always like before after pictures of that.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
A bunch of bug fixes. So and they had just put out a poll prior to announcing that Operation Overrun, like what weapons do you guys want to see? Would you want to see in the game? And a bunch of people answered that. So I think they're at a point now going into year 4 that it's like, okay, see what the community wants. Let's just get a beat.
This is my fault.
What is
the
it?
Defusal mode did not quite reach the popularity we'd hoped for, so we're rotating it into limited time game mode for now. This will help us make space for skirmish.
Yeah, they rotated a bunch in
because you get to play it. Sorry, man.
Because I didn't bring attention to it.
On me, honestly, boys. I never tried it either, unfortunately.
I think it had something weird about it. It wasn't like straight up S&D. It had some kind of respawn thing or some sector deal. It wasn't quite straight up S&D, if I remember right. Is why I didn't play it a ton.
Yeah, I never tried it, unfortunately. But I mean, that's what Hardcore Checkpoint is. Hardcore Checkpoint, and again, I play that against PvE, and Hardcore Checkpoint is just like a big it's a big rush type game mode for SND essentially, except if you die, like you're done for that round until that particular objective is taken, and then you'll spawn back with just base like a sniper rifle with iron sights and your pistol, and that's it. And you got to pick up weapons as you go, and then wait for there will be a supply drop twice on that. So that's my favorite way to play the game. I feel like that's the best way to play it.
I wonder if I should install it, reinstall it,
especially with comms and everything. Like yesterday in this past 2 streams I did, you get people from the community in there, and it's crossplay, and then you get good comms. You usually get, like, even just playing with randoms on Hardcore Checkpoint, usually always you get people that are like, you're not playing that mode unless you have like a similar mindset. So once in a while you'll get some morons like I ran into a couple days ago, and they were like, oh yeah, spawning as a commander, and I was like, oh, observer, wait up, we can call in some support. And then they just started team killing me. They're like, yeah, we thought it'd be really funny. Haha, you're a loser. It's like all right, dude. You guys picked the terrorists mode for this map also. So I mean, like, I don't know. No one picks the terrorists unless you're just like dumb as hell. And then also team killing the commander makes total sense for the game mode you're playing. So you get some idiots like that one.
I don't mind being the commander for terrorists sometimes for
I just don't like
the certain skills or certain drops you can do, like calling in the drones yourselves,
Yeah, I just don't like a lot of the weapons on that side. Like there's definitely some good ones, but I just really prefer playing as security all the time. It's just more immersive for me.
Yeah,
because when I am Insurgents, then I'm like, I'm not used to shooting security, so
I wonder if they're ever gonna like just pull the band-aid off or put a cork in it and make a new one. Like, what's the rate of return? Like, are all these updates into year 4 bringing enough players back, or should they do? Or do I don't know. Stick with this title and like move it to UE5?
We won't know for console. Like Squad did.
Squad's doing UE5 playtest, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be what they need. I don't think you need a new game. You have a lot of content. And if the content's still going, if they could update the engine across the board, that's all you really need. And again, I don't have an issue with the current graphics. I think they just did a Gen 9 update for consoles for the next gens. So that made a huge difference. If within the next 2 years you port that to UE5 or whatever and can get it stable for crossplay and everything, that'd be huge. Because then
that would be huge.
You'd have like a very modern looking game. I don't want to say it looks dated, but there's definitely, you can tell it came out in 2018. I still think it looks and plays great though.
Yeah. I'm interested in the Squad update, like the UE5 update, like how that'll be received and how that'll play and stuff.
Yeah.
That'll
There's
be cool. That'll give me a reason to go back to squad.
there's a level cap video showing it. This was last week, it looks like. Man, there's 20,000 people playing squad all the time now.
It's still a good amount of people playing it too.
Dad gum. Yeah, this.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sure,
there's not really a game of it's like, especially with when UE5 comes out, it's gonna be super immersive. Like, don't get me wrong, like I know like Armored Forger is still kind of like the new kid on the block in terms of like bringing in console players to mill some stuff, but I mean, squad on a whole, it is a lot more team oriented as well too, because you do have certain rules. Same thing with Sandstorm as well too. Like, not everyone could just pick whatever gun they want. They have to pick within that role and then the weapons that come with those loadouts. So,
which is good. It forces you to play that role, right?
But squads,
exactly. But
like
squad is even more specific, you know.
Yeah, like I was talking about in about Gray Zone, like we have long drawn out fights the other day on Fortnite. That's like that's what squad is, man. Like you can get into it in squad and be like, and like wake up, like come to like 2 hours later and you've been fighting the same dudes at the like you can lose track of time. Squad's pretty cool, but level cap won't mind me using his video. We're tight like that. But that's what I'm playing, so you guys can see the comparison between Unreal Engine 4 and 5, which
it's not a bad looking game on UE4 either. It's just overall it gets better on UE5. And for me, I just wish there was more physical destruction.
That would be cool. But the maps are so massive though, with so many people, it'd be tough.
Especially though, like the mods,
it'd be impossible right now.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But like the mods on UE5, like I don't know if you ever played Middle Eastern Escalation, I think it was mod.
Dude, I love the mods on that.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So like that I mean, the base game's great, but the mods are.
I hope it doesn't break the mods as well.
I think they're gonna need to update all the mods. Probably. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and that could ruin. I know for me, Galactic Contention is like my number one because of Star Wars, which apparently has gotten even better. So like, I can't imagine. Like a Star Wars mod on UE5 on this game would just look incredible.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. But
laser lights coming over.
I always thought that like UE4 was, it's one of those things like it depended where you're at on what map. Like sometimes you're like, this looks kind of dated, and then sometimes you'd be in like one of the forests and you'd be like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Like, but UE5, it's like the majority of it's like this looks pretty cool. I feel
is that what Sandstorm's on, Blue? Is UE4, or are they on a different engine?
I want to say a different engine, but
because I would say,
man, I feel like it looks like UE4.
It looks very similar to UE4, but I don't know.
I'm thinking, I don't know why I was thinking, because I know they were on the first Insurgency was sourced, you know. So
yeah. So who knows what they're doing?
The lighting looks really cool.
It's UE4 on Sandstorm.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, they could update the UE5. Yeah,
you know what's crazy though, dude? Looking at so like, and also like depends on who uses UE4, because like another game that looks really good in certain areas, especially with like the detail and environment, is Hell Let Loose, and that's Unreal Engine 4 as well.
They have very like, I feel like the lighting, the type of lighting you're going to use makes a huge difference too. I think Hell Let Loose uses that darker, end of the like world.
Yeah, and then also really, like I think the bump mapping, like in terms of like the floor textures on, because if you look at like old Squad, like a lot of the floor is just like flat with like some rubble scattered here and there. Where then as like with UE5, there's a lot of more like the road has indentations and the sand looks like it's really there. It's not just like a texture plastered over a flat surface, so it's it just looks overall. And then of course lumen lighting really makes it on a whole new immersive scale. So if Insurgency Sandstorm could do what Squad's doing, and then also like you said, make it for crossplay console, like it would change the game for sure.
The other one that I'm low-key kind of excited about is like when PUBG goes UE5. That's rumored to be happening.
Yeah, that too.
That's gonna look really cool.
That's also a very, like, looking at games nowadays, that could be pretty dated looking now.
Yeah,
PUBG, I know they had like a lighting update and stuff like that, and they kind of updated it a little bit, but yeah, a UE5 would be incredible on that.
It would be sweet.
I am curious. I'm sure Battlefield 6 is on a Frostbite variant, but we remember the conversation of like if it were on UE5 and stuff, which I think it's cool if they can get the Frostbite. Used to be a great looking engine, especially if you go back and look at Medal of Honor Warfighter. That's on Frostbite 2, I think it is, and that holds up today still. So
Yeah.
but I definitely feel like the lighting makes a big difference too.
Hey,
Sure.
that's yeah, just all the engine talk's kind of interesting too, because Halo's going to UE5 I think was pretty crazy.
See, and that's kind of why I understand DICE like saying we're not going to ever do UE5, because you look at it, everyone's doing UE5 right now. It seems like, right? You
It's
just said
no
Halo.
longer like the big thing anymore, as
Right.
much as it
So
used to be. Yeah.
if say Battlefield went to UE5, it's like, oh, cool. Like they just went to
Great, another game that's going to be
the same
horribly
engine that was like,
unoptimized
right,
day one.
right. And that's not like, I think UE5 looks amazing. Like I want games.
I mean,
I
Arc
want more
Raiders did
games to
it.
be on
I'm
it.
just, you know,
Yeah, I want more games to be on UE5 for sure. But we don't want to
it's
get to
gonna
the point where
it's gonna
everything's
happen.
on
Yeah.
UE5.
Yeah, I know, like, because I know Frostbite did the whole like logo change as well too.
Right.
Before Battlefield 6 was like officially announced and stuff like that. But um, what was it? I will say there was a video I saw just recently of like, I mean, it was a while. It was like it came out like April, something like that. But it was the building collapse. You know, a
Right.
guy was fighting inside and the building started collapsing and then the whole thing starts breaking down. So,
Yep.
you know, I'm still looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, black budget too, like Crafton or whatever, PUBG Studios or whatever is gonna have the PUBG
there's
update, and then
just
black
so many
budget's
things
coming.
that are like in progress or like still just
Yeah.
hasn't been announced completely, that man, get this time in like 2 years we'll have pretty much, I hope we'll have pretty much everything that we would want. I think we'd have too many things as well too.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that. Did you guys want to talk about Bellum a little bit before we call it?
I
Or no?
noticed that. I did watch. I watched the second dev vlog.
I did not.
So you'd have to talk about it. I know it looks awesome and I want to play it. That's the only input I
Yeah,
have.
it's pretty cool looking. I do like it. Is a lot more focused on realistic tactics in terms of like I would they're not NATO forces. They're, you know, you have your op 4, you know, your guerrilla fighters and stuff like that. Then you have, I guess, NATO in a way to say it. But um it so like the game mode, the one game mode that they showcased, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but basically where the enemy has the first initial like spawn, I guess you could say, and they could set up little areas here and there, and then you have NATO side where they can come in and set up one cop specifically, and basically they're fighting over influence of one area specifically. So it's like you'll spawn outside the area of contention, and then you fight inside and work your way. So either you, I think you, it's like you either capture the most area or you just eliminate everyone. So it's gonna be pretty cool to see that. Whereas like, and also, yeah, it's basically it's a game of attrition the entire time. And what was it? Each team has specific roles. So like the gorillas, like they're dressed in like lesser gear, you know, chest rigs, AKs, stuff like that, but they can move faster than what the other guys can do because they're, you know, they're lugging around 240s and whatnot and crew serve weaponry and stuff like that. So um, you know, it's very much, it depends on how, you can't just run and gun like any other game from what I can tell, especially in like the one thing they mentioned a lot was the machine gun team, specifically for like a 240 Bravo or even anything that's belt fed, that you can now have like your assistant gunner link belts as well
that's
too.
huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
so like as he's shooting, you can link more belts and have a continuous fire rate
So
instead
you
of
don't need
having
to
to
reload.
reload a
That's
box and stuff like
that's
that. So
massive.
like
That's
it's going to
really
be
sick.
beneficial for you to have an assistant machine gunner.
Yep.
Or you can run and gun it if you're on the move and you have to shoot, you can do that as well too. So but it's more beneficial for you to set up somewhere, get a support by fire element going on while another team comes in. It's like using tactics is going to be the way to go, especially if you're fighting against an enemy that can move a lot faster than you can. And on top of that, they're already going to be like, for sure they're going to be there waiting for you because they got to spawn in first and be closer to the area of objective. So you basically have to fight them out. So they're already set up. They're waiting for you. They probably got ambushes. They're probably already on the way to flank you. So you got to make sure you go in and get your stuff right. So like a lot of teamwork is going to be needed, which makes sense of like how, this is like, I would say, I wonder if you would say it. I would love to bring him onto the show to talk about this as well too. But like, if this is his dream game in terms of like gameplay and the way it, you move and shoot and communicate and stuff like that. And then we got to see like on the screen, man, I'm so stuffy still.
Dude, I think I'm getting sick too.
Don't do it.
Am I spreading it?
I feel like my throat congestion and stuff as we're sitting here.
You guys spread it in our studio. We're here live in our super badass studio, and we must be spreading
Everyone's
it.
just in different rooms to maintain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We built these sets of our different.
We got a content house, guys.
We do,
you guys
we do.
This is our time.
Dang it, man.
Crash and Blue don't have families. It's all fake. We all just live in the same house.
Yeah, the studio's infected.
But yeah, I mean, everything looks great. I'm curious how well it'll run. It doesn't look like it runs on anything like crazy because it's not like the craziest looking graphics, but it's definitely like very, very doable. The smoke kind of.
Do we have a date for this?
No date.
Okay.
No date.
Because this looks as great as graphics are. When it comes to this type of game, I'm more gameplay and replayability. Graphics are a big bonus, obviously, but that's not what I'm looking for first and foremost because we don't get a lot of these type of games. There's another one we can talk about next time is Wraith Ops. That's another one that
Project Wraith.
Yeah, they changed it to Wraith Ops.
Oh, is it Wraith Ops now?
Yeah. So that's another one we can talk about next time. But I think like that game and this game are shaping up to be some sleepers for sure.
We'll keep an eye on it.
The devlog is definitely it's got potential. And we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, their ballistic system was like pretty crazy. Like wind affects your
I remember
weapons,
their
your bullet
one
traversal.
had a bunch of stuff. They have a Discord too. If you guys want to check it out, just search them on X, and they have their own Discord where they post a lot of the updates too for Bellum.
I kind of forgot Grayzone's ballistic system was so in depth until playing it lately and like shooting and seeing the tracers ricochet like a couple different times. It looks so cool. But yes, sir. I think.
Yeah, I wonder if like a big storm, if it hits, if wind would affect that as well too in Gray Zone.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Like you're just there and a typhoon hits.
It'd be crazy,
right? Like you're
I don't know if it'd be cool or annoying.
That's the thing too. It's like it would really only affect long range shooting anyways, really. Right. So
it would just
someone's out there sniping.
Closer. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Is that a show?
I think so.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much a show. Oh wait, quick shot. One quick shot. Even though that kind of was a quick shot.
Those were all kind of quick shots.
Quick shot. Yeah. Mods coming to Armor Reforger now.
Yes, I saw
for
that,
PS5. May 22nd, as what they said at least. So
what's a PS5?
Console.
All right. Yeah, if you guys have a problem with that, send your complaints to the scopecomplaints@gmail.com or internal read them and get back to you.
Our interns, my cats, by the way, they work diligently.
Yeah, that's what. That's what the cat screaming was earlier. They got some emails that they weren't excited about.
I can't believe these guys are talking shit.
Yeah, stop it. That's what happens.
Oh man, but yeah, hey, consoles for PlayStation guys now, so they can now finally experience. I'm surprised it took this long for Sony to allow it, but you know what? Hey, I'm surprised that Sony actually allowed it in the first place. So.
No, it is huge. I think they realize. I mean, you look at also just as we're wrapping up here in the same topic. Ready or Not is coming. I think July. I think for consoles. So no mod support day one or anything, but I'm assuming it's going to be a similar thing like Arma, where it will come eventually.
Yeah.
So like I've been a console player all my life till the past year or so, and I'm still been on console the past month or two. Haven't booted up my PC really much at all. But I mean, consoles are finally getting those games, and I think Microsoft and Sony are realizing that there's a big market here because like a lot of the gamers, like how many people, you get like myself included, like you get a console for a couple games, and then you see all this other stuff that you want to play that's only on PC, and you're like, well, geez, and then your gamers for those consoles are getting older and more mature and want those games. So it's either they're gonna go to a PC or you
Which is
bring
the
it
right
to
decision.
them.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, or you bring it to them,
Which is what
and
you're
then
supposed to
they'll
do
pay money.
anyways.
Yeah, like that. Like there's money there, so like you should be. And you want so basically it's like from a console perspective, like Microsoft and Sony is like, okay, maybe we should encourage these games to come to port over, so we're keeping our customers and not losing them to PCs, right? Because you're losing customers. Not that they're struggling financially or anything, but you would think you would want to keep your customer base happy and improve upon it.
Yep. Console's a big market. All right, guys. I think that's a show. If you guys want to help out, you can lots of free ways to do that by sharing the program, leaving a 5-star review on the audio platforms helps a bunch as well. Sharing this around, dropping the like, be a friend, tell a friend. And I think without anything catastrophic, we should be back next week, I do believe, and keep you guys informed on everything what's going on. It'll be a good program because we'll be able to talk about
it'll be right after.
Yeah, have had hands on the Gray Zone update and be able to kind of react to it and talk about it in a little bit more in-depth setting. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of videos. I'm sure I'll have videos. Other people will have videos. But this setting's nice because we can just kind of converse about it and have like a relaxed conversation about it. So I really like doing this show. We can just hang out and talk about it in a little bit more of a long form setting. And I appreciate you guys actually hanging out with us and listening. It's kind of wild. So thank you guys for that. Thank you to Buff and Blue for making it happen again this week. And I really appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.